Hey, if you want to hear about the top 10 myths of Arizona debunked, make sure you stay tuned. Hey, this is Josh.
And I'm Barbara.
We're with the Select Realty Group here in the Phoenix metro area. Now, if this is your first time here and you want to know everything there is to know about living, breathing, and everything about Phoenix metro area, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to be notified of all our videos we upload every week.
Honestly, we get so many calls from people that are looking to possibly relocate to the Phoenix metro area, and we just absolutely love taking your calls. We love sharing with you the information about the area, and most importantly, we want to make sure that if you are relocating here, you're going to make the best choice possible. So do me a favor, give us a call, send us an email, send us a text, a DM, however you want to communicate with us. Go ahead and do that, and we would love sharing information about the area with you.
Now, let's dive right into the top 10 myths about Arizona. First myth is that it's all desert here. Now, a lot of people think that about Arizona when they're coming here that, oh, it's the Southwest, it's just a big desert. Could not be more wrong, right?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised actually the first time I flew into Phoenix, and this was years ago. I was surprised at how green it actually was. So we've got a lot of palm trees, we've got a lot of desert trees, trees that actually grow in the desert. But it's true, if you get outside the Phoenix metro area, there's a lot of desert out there. On the way to Tucson, on the way to, if you were to drive out west towards California, it's pretty desolate. But the Phoenix metro area is anything but.
Now, we also have up north by Flagstaff area, we have a lot of pine forest up there, same with Payson. Bunch of mountains up in Flagstaff, Humphreys Peak, over 12,000 feet. Now we have all the way down south, we have some sand dunes as well over by Yuma. We have some plateau areas up north by our border with Utah. We actually get quite a bit of snow here in Flagstaff area as well as Payson area and over in the White Mountains as well, over on the border with New Mexico. So there's a lot of different scenery all throughout here. Sedona is one of the icons around with their red rocks and still a bunch of trees and forests there. So it's not all desert. We kind of have a little bit of everything for anyone who wants to come here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that come from the Midwest are surprised that they can get like 2 hours out of Phoenix, and it can feel a lot like, parts of the Midwest.
Oh, absolutely. And a fun fact is Arizona is actually one of the top 3 most ecologically diverse states in the entire U.S.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How many different zones and everything that we have.
Now, moving on to the next myth is there's not much to do here. What is there to do and see once you get to the Phoenix area?
Yeah, a lot of people think the only things to see or do around here in Arizona is the Grand Canyon, Prescott, and then Scottsdale. There's so much more to the Phoenix metro area and Arizona as a whole than just those 3 places.
Yeah, Phoenix and the whole metro area, if you're into like outdoor sports, things like that, there is an abundance of things to do, from bike riding to hiking, mountain biking, there's boating, there's golf.
Which is another thing a lot of people don't realize here in the Phoenix metro and Arizona as a whole is we do actually have lakes. Small lakes in the city and then larger lakes out around the outskirts where you can actually take boats out, do water skiing, all your water sports, jet skiing, fishing, all that kinds of stuff.
And the thing about our lakes is our season is much, much longer than most of the rest of the country. We can go boating pretty much all year round because our lakes don't freeze. I had a boat here for years, and we used to go out in January, and it was kind of cool being on the lake and then actually seeing the snow on the mountains in the far distance.
Yeah, absolutely. And even though you see the snow in the far distance, it's still only about 60 degrees out there on the lake, which is pretty nice. Now, there's also, as we mentioned, there's Flagstaff area where skiing and forest. Up by Flagstaff, there's also the San Francisco Peaks, which is a volcano park. They have Sunset Crater, which is a very large meteor crater. We have Payson, the Mogollon Rim, as we mentioned, down in Yuma and the sand dunes there. You have the observatory down on Mount Lemmon in Tucson. So much stuff to do, and then that's not even talking about everything there is right in the Phoenix metro area for entertainment. Now, our next myth about Arizona is that everyone here has a tan, and unfortunately that is not true. Yes, there are plenty of people with tans and everything, but moving around, a lot of times you do need to cover up from the sun. You don't really get out to tan all that often.
Honestly, the sun here is very, very intense. So when people are first moving here, they're kind of surprised by the intensity of the sun. So yes, people get out and they enjoy the sun and the pools and things like that, but you do need to be careful. Skin cancer is an issue here, so you need to make sure that you're not out in the sun, during the intense periods of the day, which typically is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Right, and if you are, make sure you're wearing that sunscreen.
Absolutely. Sunscreen, sun hats, just best to stay in the shade.
But if you need a little bit of tan, more than welcome.
Now, the next myth about the Phoenix metro area is everybody here is either retired or old. And I'm going to be honest, when Phoenix kind of first started, it was a place that attracted a lot of people that were looking to retire. They wanted sunshine, they wanted to get out of the snow and the cold. But that's not so true anymore.
Yep, we definitely still get quite a bit of winter visitors coming down to escape the cold and everything. But as of last year, Arizona actually in Phoenix Metro only has about 12% of the population is retired right now, which is significantly lower than a lot of people might think. Although there are a lot of retirement communities out there, assisted living or just active adult communities as well. But for the vast majority, with the amount of jobs and everything else that we have here in the large city of Phoenix Metro, a lot of people are still working, still young, and everything like that.
And I think a lot of the developers here have recognized that. So a lot of the newer communities are built to attract families. They have community centers and community pools and parks and recreation areas. So they really do know that there's a lot of families that are moving to the Phoenix metro area. As Josh mentioned, a lot of businesses are moving in, so we are attracting, and Maricopa County is still one of the fastest growing counties in the United States right now.
Yep, and it's still also one of the highest job markets and one of the best markets for job growth as well across the country. Now, moving on to our next myth is that everyone here has a pool, which unfortunately is not true. Although a lot of people do have pools.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say, I think it's about 50% of homes have pools. There's some people that just don't want one. They don't want the hassle of having a pool, and other people live in a community where there's a community pool.
Absolutely.
And so you get all the benefits of having a pool without the hassle of having to maintain it. Because a pool does require weekly maintenance. If you can't do it yourself, you're going to need to hire someone to take care of that pool for you. So just be on the lookout for that. And then the other thing is the cost of pools has gotten pretty expensive lately.
It has, with the supply chain issues and just the general cost of labor and materials going up. Even a basic pool right now will cost you in the neighborhood of $50,000 to $60,000 just for a relatively basic pool. Now,
yeah, but I would tell you, having a pool in the summertime is a lot of fun.
Now, we do see a lot with our clients too, that a lot of people that have lived here for years, originally they really, really wanted their own pool. But the longer they live here, the more they realize how nice it is to just have a community pool in the neighborhood that someone else takes care of and that you can just go and use whenever you want to. Plus, then you get a bit more backyard space as well.
Absolutely. But again, if you're looking for privacy and you just want your own private pool, there's plenty of options. You know what? Give us a call. We're able to easily look that information up for you, and we can share with you which homes have pools, which homes might have a community pool, which might have both, which might have neither. So we're more than happy to share all that information with you.
Exactly. We're just trying to help you find your perfect area you'd like to live when you move here to the Phoenix metro area.
So the next myth is that Arizona has terrible schools. And you know what? If I'm reading the reports, I'm going to agree with that. However, having lived through it and sent kids to schools here, I'm going to tell you that Arizona has lots of options when it comes to schools. Much more so than I ever remember, in the couple of other states that I've lived in. So we do have our local area schools, but we also have charter schools. We have private schools. We have some of the schools that are ranked in the top 10 in the nation when they look at the U.S. News and I think it's U.S. News and World Report that lists their top schools in the country. And Arizona always has several schools on that list. So top schools are a priority for you and your family. We do have lots of options.
Yep, great options. Fantastic public schools that we can definitely help you find, as well as charter schools, private schools, and kind of everything in between, preparatory schools. So depending on what your needs are for schools, plenty of options around the area that offer fantastic education. Now, also our higher education here is also fantastic. We have ASU, we have U of A, we have NAU. Those are the three major universities. We also have several medical schools.
We have
U of
Grand Canyon University,
Phoenix University.
Phoenix University.
We have Midwestern as a medical school, as well as U of A medicine, and then a couple top law schools, San Jose O'Connor. Now, something interesting is ASU has actually been voted the #1 most innovative school for the past 7 years straight by both U.S. News and the World Report. So it's a fantastic university with many, many different degrees spreading across several campuses throughout the Phoenix metro area. So if schools are one of your priorities, fortunately, Arizona does have fantastic schools, and we are firmly debunking this myth that Arizona has terrible schools.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, the next myth is that Arizona is boring. Honestly, I had no idea where that myth came from, because I think Arizona is anything but boring. There are so many things to do here. I mean, you could literally go to a different event every single weekend.
Oh, absolutely. From our sports teams here, from our outdoor activities of hiking, boating, walking, all that kind of stuff, to entertainment.
The indoor activities too. If you're, don't want to get out in the heat, we have plenty of indoor activities as well.
Oh, absolutely. From bar hopping to mini golf to bowling alleys to indoor skydiving, indoor go-kart tracks, kind of almost every indoor activity you could think of.
We've got museums. We've got the Butterfly Museum, the Musical Instrument Museum, the aquariums.
And then in addition, golf is a major thing here. We have the golf tournament here. There's also Barrett Jackson. We have so many golf courses around the Phoenix metro area. You can almost play a different course every single day of the year and not play the same course twice.
Yeah, and if you're interested in seeing what kind of activities, we have a monthly calendar that we can share with you. It kind of goes over all the different events that are being put on. I mean, most of the cities have several major events every month that they're set up for families. There's beer tastings. There's everything in between, for families as well as single individuals.
Yeah, so bottom line is Arizona is anything but boring. Now, our next myth is that Arizona has no culture. Now, I will say that growing up, when I was here, I thought, maybe, maybe not. But the more you live here and the more you experience everything, you realize that there is actually a very good culture here in Arizona. Kind of a mix between the good old Wild West and the Native American culture as well. And it's kind of a mix between the two of those. Now, we do have that good Wild West texture. We have the OK Corral down here, Tombstone, a bunch of other areas where this is kind of the quintessential Wild West. Now, we do have our own flair about it, but you'll definitely still see some people out there with the cowboy boots and cowboy hats. If you go down to downtown Scottsdale, also called Old Town Scottsdale, you'll see it's a very Wild West type town with some saloons and just the general architecture and the adobe structures. Really kind of giving that vibe of the good old Southwest and Wild West.
Well, and I think Scottsdale's tagline is the westmost western town. So, yeah, we kind of do have that little bit of a Southwest cowboy-ish influence here. But, there's a lot of other cultural activities that are not Wild West related.
Right, definitely. So if you aren't Wild West, still a great spot. And if you are, plenty of stuff for you to do to really dive into that.
All right, our next myth is Arizona doesn't really have any good food or good restaurants. Well, that's a myth too.
Absolutely. We have tons of great restaurants here. Actually, such a plethora of restaurants that it's often actually difficult to just decide where you want to go. You think, hey, let's go out to eat tonight. But then the question is, oh, shoot. Where? There's so many
should we
options.
go? Yeah, I mean, we have all your typical, your fast food places, your chain restaurants, but we have lots of other choices. I mean, if you're looking for Mexican food, we have some great Mexican food. Irish, we have several great Irish restaurants in the area. Italian, German,
Persian,
Thai, Persian.
French, Indian,
Yeah.
kind of everything really, and tons of options for every single different type of cuisine out there.
Yeah, you got to remember, Phoenix is a major metropolitan area, so we have become quite a melting pot, and a lot of different cultures are moving in, and of course, opening their own types of restaurants. So we have pretty much every ethnic style of food available, and we have some five-star restaurants here as well.
We have plenty of five-star restaurants here. We have some Michelin star restaurants as well. Kind of overall just a great dining scene. We have several breweries around, speakeasies, kind of really everything that you would really want to find. There's one there. And if you need help finding it, please just reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know. We would love to be able to share with you some of our favorites. And if you try a place and like it, let us know, because we obviously have to go a long way before we can try all the restaurants that are in the area.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on to our last myth about Arizona is that Arizona is expensive.
You know, and I'm going to be honest, it depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from California, Arizona's going to seem like it's a great deal. If you're coming from maybe Iowa, it is going to seem like it's a lot more expensive, especially our housing. Our housing prices have gone up dramatically in the last couple of years.
Absolutely, but compared to the rest of the Southwest, especially the Pacific Coast, we are quite affordable for a major metropolitan city. Now, one aspect that helps keep the general cost and expenses down a bit is our massive job growth. And we do have one of the top growing job markets, so there's a lot of availability out there in order to find work and find a job. And then, yes, our house pricing is up there a little bit, but depending on the area, it can be very affordable and relatively reasonable. Again, just reach out to us and we can help find those areas for you. And then other areas are quite expensive, but the rest of living here, such as our food costs, restaurant costs, and everything associated like that is actually very
Property
reasonable.
taxes are very reasonable here. So, but yeah, and again, like Josh said, you know, we are here to help you find the best choice for yourself and your family. So please reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are our top 10 myths about Arizona and
Hopefully we've debunked them for you.
Absolutely. But again, if you have any questions about any of those myths or are trying to find that perfect area to move to here in the Phoenix metro area, please just reach out to us. We love taking your calls, text, and however you want to get a hold of us.
Yep, we would just love to be able to share information. If you're moving here, please make sure to give us a call. Send us a message, a text, however you want to get a hold of us, and we'll help you make sure you make a good choice when you're thinking about moving to the Phoenix metro area.
Absolutely. Now, if you did like this video, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Stay tuned for our next episode. We upload weekly.